Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, here to talk about all things professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, superstar news, rumors, injuries, updates, all that cool wrestling stuff that we love so damn much, you can hear on this show. So, just to kind of, confirm it is a Thursday. It's not a Friday. It felt like a Friday today. I don't know why. I had Friday vibes. But Friday is tomorrow. Today is Thursday. Today we're going to, here on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, we're going to talk about AEW Blood and Guts. It was a pretty good, a nice little cool event. I thought it was dope. And then we're going to talk about my Thursday night wrestling preview, stepping into the world of Ring of Honor and the ring of TNA Impact. Then we're going to talk about Daniel Bryan. Damn it, I always get this wrong. Bryan Danielson he's being barred from competing due to his neck injury. His doctor says that he wants him to hold out until Wembley Stadium in his fight against Swerve Strickland. So we're going to get into that. And then our fourth segment, we're going to talk about WrestleMania. WrestleMania possibly going to London sooner rather than later. So we're going to dig on into that. And then our fifth and final segment, every Thursday we do it. We're going to hit up my Superstar Spotlight, Thursday Superstar Spotlight. Today we're going to talk about the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And it's gonna be amazing. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, concerns. Give me a shout out of where you're listening from. Give me some of your wrestling opinions, as they come by. Always, always, always feel welcome. Hit up the GSMCpodcast.net. Hit up the tips and donations link. Leave whatever you can. But most importantly, hope you enjoy the show. Hope you have fun. Just sending chats. It's fun. It's fun to talk in terms of like sports and stuff like that. It's always cool to have someone to bounce ideas off of. A nice little friendly banter about professional wrestling is always well accommodated, and it's I want it. So don't make me wait too long. I'm just kidding. No, absolutely don't feel shy. Hit up the chat. Tell me how you feel about anything, absolutely anything. And remember to Superman punch that like a subscribe button to the show and also to the GSMC Sports Network, so you can continue getting awesome podcasts from this network. We have so many other podcasts. We have baseball, football, basketball, and professional wrestling, and so much more on the GSMC Sports Network. So make sure you be a part of this GSMC Sports bloodline. Once again, the link is at the GSMCpodcast.net. All right, now we're gonna dig into our first segment. We're gonna talk about AEW Blood and Guts. So it started. MJF came out, of course, all cocky with the snarl on his face, with his head up his own butt. It's you know what? Something that I definitely do respect and love about MJF is that no matter what happens, you just have your eyes on him. You just can't wait to see what he says next. You're always lingering on, what exactly is in store whenever you see him come out in terms of a promo, in terms of a wrestling match, especially. MJF is definitely the pride and joy of AEW. I was kind of reading around the wrestling Twitter kind of community and people saying that AEW was a little boring during MJF's hiatus. And by all means, I don't think it was boring, so to speak, because when I became an AEW fan, like a real fan, probably like about 6 to 8 months ago, I don't think MJF was there at the moment, but no, it was. I like this product. I think MJF makes it 10 times better. But AEW is still impressive in it itself. Only a company that's been around for about 5 years. And they're already drawing an audience. They're already getting TV deals with, HBO Max and Warner Brothers Discovery. So, yeah, just very impressive stuff. And then MJF basically said when Will Ospreay is in the limelight, he shrinks. But when MJF is in the spotlight, he shines. And, so far, that's kind of true. I only see Will Ospreay really kind of lose on at pay-per-views. Although he did have a really good match against Bryan Danielson at a Dynasty where he used the Tiger Driver 91. But man, him having that confliction of he doesn't want to use that move. It's cost him. It's cost him 1,010%. Now Will Ospreay, he's no longer the AEW International Champion. He kind of has to start from the bottom up to get a title shot. It's going to be a good, remarkable journey. I can't wait to see what Will Ospreay does because, no matter what, even when he doesn't have a title on him, Will Ospreay is absolutely electric. Oh, spray, spray. And then he mentioned, about his recently passing, Will Ospreay's recently passed grandma saying that, you basically dug your grave next to her. And it was just like, oh my God, oh my God, this guy's a jerk, man. This guy's an ours hall. Like, it's crazy, but he does it well. He does that, he's able just to get under the skin of other competitors and stuff like that. Definitely love, MJF saying that the fans were being unpatriotic and treasonous. And he unveiled a new version of the international championship. Now we have the American championship, which, he said, thanks to your American hero, he was referring to himself. So this was going on for quite a long time. You saw the confetti come out, and then you saw the United States with his head symbolizing the stars of the states, and it was just it was just so MJF. It was 1,010% just MJF, and then, of course, my man Will Ospreay, he comes up, even though MJF said Will isn't on his level, he came and he got his rematch, and he's going to rematch him at All In. He's on home turf. He brought out that international championship that MJF threw in the trash. So we have a match set for Sunday, August 25th at All In. So pretty awesome. It was a great promo overall. Love these two superstars. Love these two guys. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. So then they did the coin flip. Of course, we all saw this happening for the Blood and Guts match. Who will get the advantage? Obviously, it is the Elite. You saw Christopher Daniels, the vice president, under Tony Khan. He saw him laid out. Obviously, there's some kind of, conspiracy theories. Maybe the coin toss was fixed. I know Tony Schiavone was pretty adamant about it. He was like, obviously that thing was a fixed coin toss, and I was like, dude, that's just professional wrestling. I love it. Next, we have the FTW Championship. You saw Chris Jericho take on Minoru Suzuki. It was a well fought match. All in all, I felt it was really awesome. After the match, obviously, you saw Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho actually got injured in the match. It's going to be interesting to see if they, have him stripped of the title or if he decides to hand it off to Big Bill or something like that. Or, it's the Learning Trees title, you know what I mean? Or, with Brian Keith and stuff like that. Chris Jericho, he got tore up. He got tore up from the beginning of the match. They were trading blows, they were trading chops, and he was just bleeding. And then you just saw Suzuki just kind of laugh off every strike that Chris Jericho kind of had on him. Chris Jericho was ultimately able to pick up the victory. Then after the match, you saw the Learning Tree attack Suzuki. Then you saw Shibata return to help out Suzuki, and it really doesn't say much of what's going to happen in the future with the FTW Championship. I was expecting maybe Hook to come back as well to help out Suzuki. Suzuki, without a doubt, will kind of probably take the place of Samoa Joe if these six competitors ever have a trios match against each other. So kind of setting up storylines for the future in terms of Minoru Suzuki, but in terms of Chris Jericho, it's going to be interesting to see who's his next feud and opponent's going to be. So always excited for that. Then we saw Britt Baker DMD defeat Hikaru Shida, and they've had quite a history together. Obviously Shida's a three-time AEW World Champion. Britt Baker, I believe she won her championship from Shida. And then you saw at the end of the match, I think this was really big for Britt Baker. Definitely kind of like spiking your flag kind of match where you kind of have to show the wrestling universe, AEW, all the superstars in the locker room. You got to show them that you're still tough as nails. You can go out there and compete with the best. And she did it. She did very, very well. She was able to pick up the victory. But then you saw, of course, Mercedes Moné come out, and it was basically saying, if you want this championship, but too bad it's not going to happen. And then you saw Camille debut, just a Hercules type of a woman, man. This girl looked like she was, looks like a Greek goddess ready to kick your ass at any moment of time. No, it was pretty crazy though. She definitely knocked out Britt Baker, furthering that furthering that feud between Monet and Britt Baker. So it's going to be, I think that match is going to happen at All In. I don't know how quick it is that they're going to put the title right back on Britt Baker, but so far I've kind of been, wrong in terms of speculating and be like, oh, they recently came. I don't think they're going to win the championship right away. Usually when I say that, it kind of happens, and I'm like, oh, wow, it looks like I don't know wrestling. I'm just kidding. No, so all right, and next we saw Kris Statlander attacking the new CMLL World Women's Champion, Willow of Nightingale. And man, freaking Stokely, man, that guy just irks me. Oh God, man, you're gonna see these two feud over this championship, which I kind of thought was going to happen once when obviously they knocked each other out of the Owen Hart Cup women's tournament. And Kris Statlander, ever since she's kind of left Willow, she seems like she has a new edge. Obviously, still part of the Don Callis family, but it just looks like she has this new, just ambition, just this new determination that she's gonna go out and she's gonna get what she wants, and she doesn't care who she hurts along the way. And it sucks, Willow Nightingale, her former, best friend, kind of had to get the crap end of the stick there. So, then we see a promo with Jeff Jarrett talking to Brian Danielson, saying that he, worked his ass off. He really was bummed out when he lost to Hangman Adam Page, but was happy when Brian Danielson hoisted up that trophy, when he shook his hand and he said, you have a date with destiny. This, you know, it sounds, but then he was kind of questioning Brian Danielson's commitment of where he's at right now because of the injuries, because of histories of neck fusion surgery and stuff like that for Daniel Bryan. He said, honestly, and I quote, he said, sounds like you got one foot in the door and one foot out the door. And he's like, I don't know if you're just going to kind of use this as an excuse, but you could tell that it kind of got to Brian Danielson, and he's going to go out there and give it his all. He's going to go out there. He does in every single match. Brian Danielson is 1,010% amazing. He has a tall task ahead of him at All in the main event, taking on Swerve Strickland. So, it's going to be a great match. One of the better matches of probably in recent months. It's going to be, pretty awesome. Pretty damn awesome. Then we see Patriarchy in a promo stating that they are the new AEW Trio Championships, basically saying that they are untouchable. No one can touch them. Then you saw Pac defeat a guy named Boulder. It was like a jobber match, but the jobber was big as hell. It's crazy. Then you saw the Glamour Mariah May make her debut. She brought the high heel. She had the Owen Hart Cup belt. She fought a hometown jobber, Tony Storm. She came out. And she was going to kick her ass. I felt a lot of tension. I feel like the way they're handling this storyline is really, really good. Obviously they're gonna fight each other at All In for the AEW World Women's Championship. And Tony Storm said, and I quote, Are you prepared to die? Because I am." It's like one of those things where you kind of if you're forced to wrestle your best friend or fight someone, you're like, you know what, if I'm going down, you're going down with me, kind of mentality. And the fans like it. She came out of the crowd, she took off the wig, and lo and behold, it was the timeless Tony Storm. And these two girls, oh man, when they're in the ring together, yeah, either if they're friend or foe, so far it seems like it's been nothing but magic. So good for AEW to kind of have a great, an amazing women's division. You know what I mean? And then we have the finale, the main event. We have Blood and Guts, Team AEW against the Elite. Started off, you see Darby Allin, Jack Perry, and just can Darby Allin have an actual wrestling match where he doesn't get that his ass kicked or get destroyed? It reminds me totally like a Mick Foley, and obviously love Darby, love the way he is in AEW. Definitely need a kind of lunatic fringe over that kind of point. But I don't know. I just want to see him not get his ass kicked. I'm like, dude, poor guy. Damn. So then you saw, obviously they had the Elite had the advantage. You saw Nicholas Jackson come in, Mark Briscoe, Matthew Jackson, then Bowens. then Okada, then Craster, and of course, then you saw a Hangman Adam Page wait until Swerve Strickland came out, attacked him, handcuffed him. It took Jeff Jarrett to come out to overall, kind of even up the odds in this match. But he was, and Billy Gunn, scissor me daddy. I thought that that was pretty cool to free Swerve. And what, I got kind of a hot take, and I'll be quick with it. Because Chika Okada, he in matches like this, when you saw him in the Anarchy in the Arena match, didn't really show blood. You seen him in this match, didn't really show blood. Didn't really seem like he wanted to go anywhere near those tacks or the barbed wire. And it seems like he's kind of I don't want to say like a prima donna, but kind of like a little bit. I'm just kidding, but I don't know. I just want to see him. Yeah, and it could be like a double standard because a lot of these superstars in AEW, they're like, oh, I don't give an F, man. I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna shed blood, like let's do it. And then Okada's like, you know what, I've had my fair share of that. I'm not, my wrestling speaks for itself. So by all means, yeah, but I just want to see him get dirty once in a while. You know what I mean? Because he's he's kind of crazy, kind of crazy. So, after all, Team AEW won after Darby Allin threw lighter fluid all over Jack Perry. He was chained to the chain link fence of the steel cage, and he was threatened to light Perry on fire. Perry would said he did not want to quit. It took, I think, Matthew. It took Matthew Jackson to be like he gave Darby a match. For the TNT Championship against Jack Perry at All In, and after he got that, he picked up the win. To be honest, I think Darby Allin had one of the most successful nights in his career last night. Definitely started off as as the number one guy, outlasted a hellacious match just to to get Matthew Jackson to quit. So definitely love that. I overall it was a great pay per view. Wouldn't ask for anything more of AEW Blood and Guts. It was very good, very very good. All right, now we're going to move on to our Thursday night wrestling preview. Step into the world of Ring of Honor and the ring of TNA Impact. So, hey, do not go anywhere.